every day.
Okay, I want to take at least anywhere between 24 to 48 hours to reasonably digest what happened with this Baker Mayfield podcast. Seems like he's putting his foot in his mouth repeatedly, time after time again. I know he's a better person than what he's being perceived in the media right now, and just going on complete silence would help him in the long run. I wanted to look at a couple quotes from the podcast itself, break it down and see how we can apply them towards the Browns and towards this current situation right now. So let's get into it. Okay, first quote. I feel 100% disrespected because I was told one thing and it completely did another. It was Baker Mayfield said on an hour-and-a-half podcast. We look at everything, like inside of a vacuum itself, a week before the Combine, it came out reports that Andrew Berry were 100% behind Baker in Baker's camp when they met before the Combine. But an interesting thing happened. A franchise quarterback became available. Browns were in a unique situation where they were able to grab set quarterback. On the field comparison between the two, Deshaun Watson is a better overall quarterback than Baker Mayfield. So I don't blame the Browns for kicking a tire on that situation. They actually ended up getting their guy. So well played, Andrew Berry. Well played. You have to look at the Deshaun Watson trade request is a special thing onto itself because quarterbacks that age, that skill set do not become available. Normally, if a quarterback is available in the prime of their career, something just went wrong. They just didn't work in that system. They couldn't fit, or they just had horrible play. Deshaun Watson narrowed his search down to 4 teams. And all 4 of those teams had starting quarterbacks. Sam Darnold went radio silent. Matt Ryan, who was a constant professional, former MVP, went radio silent. Then Jameis Winston, recovering from ACL surgery, went silent. So, not a unique situation that Baker Mayfield was going through. It was 3 other guys going through the exact same situation. Yet they chose a different and similar route. And as of right now, they are starters on their team and they're stable right now. And then here's the other quote. That's what I'm in the middle of right now, and you know what? Okay, I got my taste. I've had 4 different coaches in 4 years. I had a bunch of different coordinators. I had lows, and they always come back. If I'm being honest, man, all the way up until this year, until the injury, I've been a Baker guy. I'm not going to go on the realm of being a Baker bro, but I've been a Baker guy. And when I talk sports or when I talk about our Cleveland Browns, this is the exact argument that I bring up. 4 different head coaches, a multitude of coordinators. Would Lamar Jackson, would Josh Allen be able to perform the same way if they went through a whole bunch of inconsistencies like that? But after a while, it's a lack of accountability on one set of being better or making the steps to become better. Because we're Cleveland Browns fans. And Browns fans know one thing, and one thing that always happens with our sports team is dysfunction. 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 I'll say it again. I had to say it 3 times just because of the simple fact that this team, this organization, this franchise has never been consistent since 2000. It's been a carousel of coaches, carousel of quarterbacks, and a carousel of players. And players only coming in for paychecks itself. Which leads into the next comment. It's like, how can I get the best out of people that are making a shit ton of money? Because I could always motivate people when we weren't making money. That was easy. I can get in their face. I can do that, all that, because you know what? We're on the same playing field. Now, was this a shot at a player? Was this a shot at Odell? Was this a shot at Austin Hooper? Was this a shot of the higher paid players on the team? Needless to say, a comment like that does not need to come out, especially from your starting quarterback. That's a bit of drama itself where it's going to be a recurring theme here. He is just diminishing his trade value. And I actually think from Mayfield's camp and standpoint, I think they actually want to get to a point where the Browns have no trade value for Mayfield, where they can just outright release him and say they're done with it. That way he can control his future. And then the last one. I would love to show up at somebody's cubicle and boo the shit out of them and watch them crumble. Now this is just, man, come on, Baker. We gotta be better than that. I understand you're mad, and this is probably mainly from the Detroit game itself, but normal, everyday blue-collar workers have so much BS that they gotta deal with from managers, supervisors, HR reps, and we do it for less money than millions. So if somebody's booing me, okay, I can give 2 Fs if my manager or my supervisor is booing me. at the same time, I know in the back of my head they will replace me in a heartbeat. So it's not that hard. Being an NFL quarterback, working every day. Being an NFL quarterback, working in a steel mill, working in a factory, working in sales, working in services. You see the parallels between the two? One position, one job is only 1% of the world, at least less than 1% of the world can actually achieve in becoming an NFL quarterback or just even making it to the NFL. It's a lot of stories where players don't make it to the NFL itself. So you have to be a special kind of breed. You have to be a special kind of athlete to even be considered to make it to the NFL. The rest of the 99% other people have to find other ventures to make a living. And it just comes across as why me, woe is me, everything else like that. I've had issues in the past and I still have issues to this day, but the one thing that I've learned, and the one thing I think a lot of people have learned, is just that victim mentality. Turn yourself away from being a victim. Don't be why me, be why not me, and how I can move forward, how I can get better, how I can adjust to the situation. Baker Mayfield will get there. It's just growing pains. He's finding his place, but the people in his camp are giving him bad advice that he should never did that podcast. And I 100% believe, as a Browns fan, it's just a way for us, like I said earlier in the video, for him to be outright released. But there is no accountability for the last 4 years in which he was dealt a bad hand. I understand that. People are dealt bad hands all the time in life. It's just how you deal with it and how you come back from it. It's always next year. It's always next year, Baker Mayfield. This year you might not be a starter, but you may have to sit behind a couple people. But next year, just get everything together, put your head down, and ball out.